What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Masex back with another video. So it's summer 2023. I'm fiending for some football. We know this is the dead period of football, and that's at all levels, high school, college, NFL. Nonetheless, man, it's never too early to talk about the next year's NFL prospects. So today, we're going to be looking at the NFL Big Board of the 10 best prospects as of right now. And this is based off of the NFL Mock Draft database. And this is the time that I do ask, if you haven't already, subscribe to this video on the road to 1K. I deeply appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and it's completely free. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, let's get started. The NFL Mock Draft database's top 10 Big Board for the 24 class. And that starts with TOOO, edge rusher out of Ohio State, listed at 6'4", 272 pounds. Last year, 3.5 sacks. Now his strengths is the run game, really good against the run, uses his size and strength to make plays, set the edge, will finish his plays as well in the backfield. That's what you want to see in addition to the motor. He doesn't give up easily on plays. One thing, doesn't have the most diverse pass rush package, counter moves and whatnot. Really good player. I'm excited to see him in this year for Ohio State. At number 9, we have my favorite offensive lineman in this class, and that's not being Indiana biased, but that's Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. Offensive tackle, listed at 6'7", 317 pounds. I love his size. Really good athlete. Moves very well in space. Gets second level with ease. Very good against twists and stunts and different blitz packages. Pass blocking is what he really excels at. Now, he's not the most physical, and he can definitely get better in the run game and maybe getting some form of nasty streak. But Joe Alt for sure will be a top 6 pick in next year's draft. And at number 8, we have Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle out of Penn State, 6'6", 321 pounds. So yes, right now, Fashanu is listed as the #1 offensive lineman in the class. Very effective in space, very long wingspan. It's hard to get your hands on him. He's going to get his hands on you first. He does have a nasty streak. Really good in the run game. That's more of his bread and butter in comparison to Alt. Moves pretty well, gets second level, finishes plays, finishes blocks. As I mentioned, he has a nasty streak to him. In the pass block, not as strong as his run blocking, but it's really good. He'll be battling with Joe Alt on being the #1 offensive lineman in the 24 draft class. At number 7, we have our first DB off the board, and that's JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama. Has hands down probably the best nickname in sports. 6'1", 188 pounds. Last season, 35 tackles. Had an interception. Also had a sack. Definitely has a nice blend of length, speed, quickness. Very instinctive. Adept at reading routes. He's really good at anticipating routes. All good traits that you want to see in a lockdown corner at the next level. Also brings special teams value. He's not the greatest athlete in the world as far as athleticism, top end speed. He's not elite in that category. That may be something to watch. And he has gotten beat a few times in college. Every DB gets beat, but that could be a concern. I'm just saying that now. But I do think he is hands down the best defensive back in this class. At number 6, we're going to stay at Bama. We're going to take a look at Dallas Turner, the edge rusher, 6'4", 240 pounds. Last year, 4 sacks, 37 tackles. Turner's a good all-around athlete. He's very quick, fast, violent hands, pretty good at disengaging off of blocks. Someone of his size, you would expect quickness, closing ability while rushing the passer. I really like him. Me, I'm not as high as a lot of others at this point, but I do see the potential that he possesses. Can get a little grabby on tackles. I would like to see him wrap up a little bit more, make more contact with the body first, but nonetheless, he's a high potential guy. All right, at number 5, we're going to stay at the edge rusher position. We have Jared Verse out of Florida State, listed at 6'4", 248. Last year, very productive. 9 sacks playing out of the ACC. Jared Verse is very fast. He's very explosive. I expect him to run a sub 4.6 at the combine next year. He's got really long arms. I expect him to have a good wingspan, something that's very important, especially next level, getting your hands on the tackle before he puts his hands on you. He can get exposed a little bit, at least at this moment in the run game. That wasn't his strong suit, much more of a pass rush specialist, so that is something to work on. But Jared Verse definitely has the potential to be a top 5 pick next year because of his explosion and able to get to the quarterback. All right, and at number 4, we have Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. 6'4", 230 pounds. What can I say about this guy? You don't hear this used with tight ends very often, but Brock Bowers is a big play waiting to happen. Burst into the scenes as an 18-year-old true freshman and started for a national champion team this past year, which they won another national championship as a sophomore. He had 63 catches, 942 yards, and 7 touchdowns to lead that offense. He's too big for defensive backs, too athletic for linebackers. I've seen him run away from DBs after a catch and run situation. He has elite top end speed for a tight end. Now at 230 pounds, what he's listed at, his frame may limit him as a run blocker, but nonetheless, especially in today's NFL, it's not as imperative to be able to block just as well as you can run routes. Brock Bowers may be the best tight end prospect since Kyle Pitts. He can do it all, and like I said, he's a big play waiting to happen, which you don't hear very much with tight ends. At number 3, we're going to take a look at Drake May, quarterback out of UNC, 6'4", 220 pounds. This past year, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Drake May is everything you look for in a pro-style quarterback. He's got the height, the weight, the rocket arm. In today's NFL, you want to see your quarterback use his legs, which Drake May is perfectly capable of. Steps up to the challenge, and when the competition raises, he also raises his game. He's only started 1 season. He's a little raw, but like I said, that's to be expected. He's going to draw the Josh Herbert comparisons, and I'm all for it. And I do think that he probably will be the 2nd pick, maybe the 3rd pick next year with all the potential and crazy talent that he possesses. At number 2, one of my favorite players in all of college football, that's Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. Listed at 6'3", 210 pounds. We all know, but if you don't know, if that name sounds familiar, yes, he's the son of Marvin Harrison Sr., Colts legend and one of my favorite players of all time, being that I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I've been keeping my eye on Marvin Harrison since he was out in high school. But this past year as a sophomore, 77 catches, 1,263 yards, 14 touchdowns. Maybe the best receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson, way back in 2007. He's got alpha size, projected 4.4 speed. He high points the ball. He has elite body control, can snag anything in traffic. We've seen it over and over again. But like I said, could be a better prospect than even Jamar Chase. I'm that high on Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, the only knock or negative may be separation. May not run the most crispiest Instagram reel worthy routes, and that does cause him to have to make a lot of those adjusted acrobatic catches because he's in traffic and he's not creating the separation. But you don't see wide receivers be the 1st pick. I mean, we've only seen that once in the last 25 years. If there was any player that could be the 1st pick as a wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be that person. And the moment you all been waiting for, the number 1 prospect on the 24 draft class big board, that's Caleb Williams, 2022 Heisman Trophy winner out of USC, quarterback, 6'1", 220 pounds. Last season, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Transfer from Oklahoma, took the keys from Spencer Rattler and pretty much did not look back at Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley goes to USC. He puts his name to transfer to USC. Undoubtedly, probably the best player in all of college football between him and Marvin Harrison. I'll give him the nod because he's so elite. He's box office. Get your popcorn ready. He extends plays that shouldn't be extended. He makes plays that shouldn't be made. He throws balls off of the mechanics that should never be thrown, but he makes those plays. Elite producer. He has the tendency to run, so he's a dual threat, but he's not the most athletic guy, but he makes fun plays with his legs as well as his arm. He's going to have a lot of Patrick Mahomes comparisons because of the plays he makes, the awkward throwing releases that he's able to make. Plays exclusively shotgun. Scouts are going to want to see what his drop back development looks like between now and his pro days and combines and whatnot. But he's most likely going to be the #1 pick. All right, there you have it. The NFL mock draft database, top 10 prospects for the 24 draft class. Of course, at this point of the year, there's going to be a lot of changes. The top 10 is probably going to look a lot different, as it does every single year. I mean, we can look at July 2022's top 10 big board and then look how it's shaped at the end of the college football season for the 2022 year. It looks a lot different. So that's just the fun and the journey that we have to take as football fans. I'm excited for the season to kick off. We're about maybe 6 weeks away from the time of this recording. Like I said, if you made it this far, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. This helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate it. More football content coming on the way. If you like things football, man, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment your favorite guy to look out for the 23 year. With all that said, it's May 6. I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'm out of here.